Alright, so on the screen we got players of the Flamingos of Nigeria, Nigeria's under 17 women's team, and they're in a training session in Santiago, Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic, of course, is hosting the under 17 Women's World Cup. It kicks off on the 16th of October and it runs all the way until the 3rd of November. Now, the Flamingos are in Group A alongside host nation Dominican Republic, Ecuador, and New Zealand. And they actually play the first match of the competition on the 16th of October. They take on New Zealand. 9 p.m. Nigerian time will be the start of the game. And speaking of games, we definitely have to talk about the lone Super Falcon representative in the Women's Champions League this season, the UEFA Women's Champions League. And that's Tosin Demehin. She's going to be playing in a match tomorrow. We're going to be talking about that. And we're also going to be talking about a couple of competitions that are coming up in 2025 and 2026. Don't think a lot has been said about these two competitions. We're going to talk about them in this video. And we're also going to double back to the Flamingos. We got a clip of their head coach, Bankole Olowookere, talking about his selection process. I know there's been a lot of talk about the list that was put out, and the coach kind of gave his own side of the situation in the clip that we're going to be checking out. But first, of course, please make sure to like this video, share, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff that helps this channel grow. You're muchly greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. So yeah, first we start with Tosin Demehin, Super Falcons and Galatasaray central defender, and she's set to play her first match in the group stage of the UEFA Women's Champions League. This is actually a third match in the UEFA Women's Champions League altogether. So a little background of how Tosin Demehin got to this point right here. So she played for Stade de Rennes in the French women's top flight last season. Got hurt at the ending part of last season. The team did make it into the playoffs, the French women's playoffs. 4 teams made it in there: Paris FC, PSG, Stade de Rennes, and Lyon. Stade de Rennes finished 4th in the competition, and those 3 other teams made it into the Champions League. Well, 2 other teams were in the qualifiers of the Champions League. Then Lyon, as the big team, already in the Champions League, just like Barcelona would be already in the Champions League, not having to go through qualifiers. So what ends up happening is those 2 other teams that had to go through qualifiers actually did not make it. They actually went out in the qualifiers. PSG lost to Juventus, the same club that they signed Jennifer Echegini from, which was not cool right there. Then Paris FC lost to Manchester City, a real disastrous outing for them and Chiamaka Nadoze in that matchup right there. But then you get Tosin Demehin, who actually made a move from Stade de Rennes to Galatasaray during the off-season, really like late in the off-season. So she makes that move to Galatasaray. They're in the Champions League qualifiers, but to tell the truth, people are not really expecting Galatasaray to make it into the Champions League group stage, because first of all, no other Turkish side has made it into the UEFA Women's Champions League group stage. So that was kind of a far-fetched something right there. So they faced Slavia Praha of Czech Republic in their final match of qualifiers. You win this, you qualify into the group stage. In the first leg, Tosin Demehin came into the game in the 37th minute. One of her teammates got injured, so that was her debut for the team. She actually got a yellow card around the 46th minute mark of the game. Then they were up 2-0 late on in the game. Not late, but late on, second half in the game. But Slavia Prague came back and equalized both goals. And that was it. 2-2 in the first leg. So things were looking real rough right there. But you go to the second leg, and they actually stood on business. Tosin Demehin started the whole game, played the whole. It was over 90 minutes because it ended 1-1 in 90 minutes. There's no what they call it, away goals rule in UEFA. so they went straight into extra time, and that's where Galatasaray got the extra goal from to make it 2-1 and 4-3 on aggregate. And that's how they're right where they are right now in the UEFA Women's Champions League group stage. But it doesn't get easy from there. It really does not get easy from there. Their first match of the UEFA Women's Champions League group stage is against Lyon. They're going to be facing Lyon tomorrow. 5:45 p.m. Nigerian time will be the start of the game. It's a Group A matchup, and that's a tough one for Galatasaray. That's a tough one for any team not named Barcelona in women's football, to keep it real. So that right there is gonna be a big test. I'll try to check it out because Tosin Demehin is actually our lone representative in this competition. No other Super Falcon player is in this competition. So all eyes on Tosin Demehin tomorrow, and hopefully she does her thing. Now moving on, and in this part right here, I wanted to shed a little bit of light on a couple of women's competitions that will be coming up in the next couple of years. First, we're going to talk about the Futsal World Cup, the Futsal Women's World Cup. It will be coming up next year and will be played from the 21st of November to the 7th of December. Philippines is where it will be hosted. 16 teams will be playing in the competition. Africa has 2 slots in the competition. CAF has 2 slots. Whatever. But yeah, I feel like this is something we might need to invest in. We do need to invest in. When you look at the men's side, I think it's real tough because you already have leagues that have been going on for years. You have players that have been playing in competitions for years. So to catch up will be pretty tough. But on the women's side, this is the first ever Futsal World Cup. So even though we might be behind, I don't think we're that far behind. And we already have at least one thing going for us. We have a plethora of good football players. Yes, futsal is different from football. I don't know the differences. I've never played futsal before. I'm not going to come here and lie to y'all. I've watched it a lot, but as far as playing it, apart from if you're going to say if I played football on concrete, yeah, I've done that. But futsal, I've never played it, so I don't know the big difference between playing on grass and on concrete. But I feel like this is something we can do. This is something we should invest in. I don't know if we have a team. I don't know what our team is named, but this is something we need to really look at. With the competition coming on late next year, honestly, I saw something that was saying that the African competition was played earlier this year, but somebody told me that it has not been played yet. So I think we need to get on this right here. The Futsal World Cup, the Futsal Women's World Cup. I think, hey, let's try to get a team together. Let's get a coach. Let's get a program. And let's see how we can, make things happen right there. But moving on, another competition that I wanted to talk about. This one I know a little bit more about, or I can speak a little bit more about. The Women's Club World Cup. Of course, we know the Club World Cup where the best teams from each continent come, and maybe 1 or 2 extra teams from somewhere and somewhere come and they play in the competition. Normally, the European team wins it, and they're doing that on the women's side. So the Women's Club World Cup will be played every 4 years. They have not announced where it will be hosted in the qualification format yet, but we do know it will be played 2026, January to February of 2026. The exact dates have not been put out yet, but we already have a platform for this, the CAF Women's Champions League. So they're basically saying the winners of the CAF Women's Champions League will go to the Women's Club World Cup. And I also saw that 16 teams will be part of the competition. So it might be 2 teams from the continent that can go into this competition right here, just like the futsal, which I feel like we need to be getting a little bit more, at least 3 teams in a continent as big as Africa. I don't know why they keep on playing like this with the 2 teams, especially in a sport that really just started. Futsal, come on now, it's the first ever Futsal World Cup, and you're giving us only 2 slots. But that's that last topic. Speaking of this right here, of course, we got Edo Queens going to the CAF Champions League. I don't know if the winner of this year's competition will be the one going to that edition, because it's going to be late 2026. So maybe the winner of the next CAF Women's Champions League goes there, or maybe they say the winner this time and the winner next time can go to the competition. I don't know, but we do know that the Women's Club World Cup will be played 2026, January to February. So that's something to look forward to right there. Hopefully this means that more money will be put into the game, the African game, since the FIFA Club World Cup is being played. Maybe FIFA drops a little bit more money in our prize money when it comes to the CAF Women's Champions League, so teams don't just have to run around, spend money, and just make maybe half of what they spent at the end of the day. So yeah, that right there would be cool, the Women's Club World Cup. Moving on, and we're going to go back to where we started, the Flamingos of Nigeria. This time talking about the head coach of the team, Bankole Olowookere. This was an interview that was put out a few days ago by the NFF, and in this clip that we're about to check out, head coach of the side, Bankole Olowookere, talks about his selection process before he put out the list. So we're going to check out what he has to say real quick, and I'm going to come back, put in my 2 cents, and we're out of here.
First of all, I just have to say kudos to the girls that were able to finally make the team, because it has been a serious hard-working time for them. We've gone through a lot of rigorous training, and we were so careful in selecting them based on their merit. And based on that, I can say pure merit, and they really work for it, and I think the merit getting this call for the last 50 months. Majorly is their contribution towards the qualifying for the World Cup itself. They contributed massively in terms of getting the results, and not only that, returning back to the final campaign, they never drop form. They remain the way they are. In fact, they step ahead of what they have been doing before, and that makes it difficult for the newcomers. The new one are invited to the team. The higher they are moving, and the newcomer kept chasing them. Out of all the people that came, I think only one of them was excellently performing in terms of making the team to be the surprise players in the team that made the final 21.
So yeah, as you heard right there from the Flamingos gaffer, basically the players that came into the team, the new players, they didn't do enough to make it on the team over the players that were already there, the players who went through qualifiers. Like he said, the players who went through qualifiers look like they improved from the last time he saw them. So that's crazy right there, because every coach is always trying to improve. But when you come and you look and you find out that what you were trying to improve is already improved, what are you going to do? Maybe he saw 1 or 2 things during qualifiers that he felt like his players needed to work on, or a player in that position would need to do. And by the time he comes back, the player that was playing there that he felt couldn't do that thing is doing it. So what is he going to do? It's a tough situation, and I feel like it's kind of a touchy situation, because it's not about the list. It's not about the totality of the list. It's about one player. That player being Simone Riley, and a lot of people have had comments on the situation. People saying that she should make the team just because she has been to 2 different camps, which is true. She's been to the under 20s, under 17s, and did not make either team. Now, first of all, I definitely know how it feels to not make a team. I've been cut from a team. I was cut from the basketball team in high school. So I know how that feels, the hurt, the loneliness. When you look at that list and your name is not on there, I definitely know how that feels. But at the same time, you're asking for the best players. That's what you're asking for. You're asking that players are selected on merit. And when you look at the coach, I don't think there's a reason to doubt. I don't think he has given too many reasons for people to think, hey, this coach does not select the best players. I'll give you a good example. for the past a month or two, I've been, not even the past month, like the past year, I've been complaining that Christopher Danjuma did not select the players that Bankole Olowookere raised from the under 17. That was the complaint a lot of us have had. That why the under 17 girls not playing in the under 20s? Guess what? This is the man that gave us the under 17 girls. So why am I to expect that this man is not selecting the best players now? Why? Why would I expect that this man is not going to select Simone Riley just because of how she looks or where she was born? Why would I expect that? I feel like he is being disrespected just because people want Simone Riley on the team, and it's totally unfair. It's totally unfair. This is a man that has done something no other person in Nigeria has done. Take the women's under 17 side and get them on the podium. We finished third at the last under 17 World Cup. That's the highest we've ever finished. So at the end of the day, I feel like we just need to give the man a little bit of space, let him do his job, and see how far we can go in this competition. But that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Flamingos of Nigeria in Santiago getting ready for the under 17 Women's World Cup. Then you got the two competitions coming up, the Futsal World Cup in 2025 and the Women's Club World Cup in 2026. Tosin Demehin, her Champions League group stage debut comes up tomorrow. Definitely wishing her the best of luck. Definitely will be needing that against Lyon. But please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.